Hey, it's Davo. What's going on? Smash the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications if you are excited for the Overflow X 7DS collab. Let's get into it. We're going to be talking about all the new characters, kits. I won't show ultimates, but I'm pretty sure you guys were watching a lot because a lot of y'all were in amazing streams. So, let's go over Ainz first and foremost. Let's go over his passive, and then we'll go into the skills. So, for each ally of unknown race participating in battle, your basic stats will increase by 10%. And when an ally of unknown race uses the skill on an enemy, that enemy will be given Mark of Death. Also, in PvP, if you deal damage to an enemy with 4 marks of death using a single attack skill, like a single target attack skill, you will be given a death sentence effect that will activate after 1 turn. Death mark is reduces damage dealt in PvP and final damage dealt by all target special moves. Special moves, so ultimates, it's not even skills. But reduced damage in general, that's for like anything, and then final damage dealt with all target special moves. Really? Nobody really in ultimate like that, but reduction amount changes depending on special move levels and can be stacked 4 times. Death sentence is additional damage equal to 100% of remaining HP at the end of the turn. So dot damage, you combine that with Hell's Source of Pains, I imagine it's going to be pretty crazy. It's just like another form of corrosion. When it's removed, the mark of death is also removed at the same time. Death sentence and mark of death are removed at the same time. Okay, I was bugging. My bad. My mind, I was like, what's going on? And then the sacred, his holy relic, for each debuff effect applied on an enemy, the base stats of all allies increase by 3% of the 5 times. So 15% basic stats. If it was all stats, it would have been absolutely ridiculous. But that's pretty good so far. If you want to run them with Hell, you could. And even if you want to run a full collab team, which with all these characters here, you could. Well, other than Gokaitis. But still, let's get into the skills. His first skill, single target, deals damage, deals declared damage equal to 500% of attack to a single enemy. Damage dealt plus 40% for each mark of death or death mark on the target of declaration you point on, essentially. And then skill 2 deals damage equal to 300% of attack on all enemies and reduces attack related abilities by 20%. So I feel like if he's not doing crazy damage, which is something you don't want, I feel like at the very least his team, his unknown team variant, whatever, will be very tanky, because you slap this on everybody other than like Purgatory Melee, you'll be cooking. You'll definitely be cooking. But you don't really want to spam this if you're fighting Hell, though. That's the only sad part. Then his ultimate special move deals declared damage equal to 975% of attack to a single enemy, single target. If you are participating in PvP, each mark of death on the enemy reduces the damage dealt by that enemy and the final damage dealt by all target special moves. So he has it twice. What? Each mark of death reduces damage dealt by 7%. I'm assuming that 1/6 this might be. It might be 1%. It might go up 1% every dupe level, which is kind of poopy, but it is what it is. So damage from this guy, I don't think it's gonna be the craziest, but tanking, sure. Like, I don't know. I'll wrap around and tell you my best. Like, I'll give you the best 1 and then the worst at 4 at the end of the video. So make sure you stick around, ladies and gentlemen. So, second unit, Albedo, grants absolute defense to yourself for 1 turn at the start of the battle. When you take a stance, your basic stats increase by 20%, and when you take damage from a skill used during the enemy's turn, and give up to 5 effects that increase your attack related abilities by 10% for 3 turns. And if you do not take damage, apply to all enemies at the start of your ally's turn. Apply what? Wait. Am I bugging? This is Google Translate. This isn't Yandex, bro. And if you do not take damage, apply to all enemies at the start of your ally's turn. Grant an effect that increases damage received by 40% for 1 turn. Oh, that part specifically is worded weird. So if they don't attack, you deal more damage to them for 1 turn. Okay, cool. Also, when your stance is released, You will be given a 20% attack related ability increase effect for 2 turns on allies of unknown race. And for each ally unknown race participating in battle, your basic stats will be reduced by 7%. What increase? What the fuck is reduced? Hold on, Google Translate is bugging. Basically 7% basic stats increase for each unknown. This was cool. Usually they put that at the top of the passive, but it's weird. I don't know. But absolute defense is provoke the enemy, which is taunt, and then minus 50% damage received, which is great. So she's getting all these basic stats. She's getting damage reduction, the extra basic stats for what? For extra unknown races and stuff like that. And then it's like you have to attack her as well. That's pretty nutty. And she's getting these buffs too. That's gonna come into play very, very shortly. Hold on. And then a relic for each buff effect applied on you, the damage you receive is reduced by 8%. So if she has hella buffs on her, bro, it don't even matter what the buffs are. If the buffs are just like straight up, like they could be attack related. If they're all like Echidna type buffs, let's just say it was, but there aren't, she still get damage reduction, which is up to like 40%, which is absolutely stupid. So 40% plus that 50% damage reduction, absolutely, she ain't taking no damage. So let's close. We'll keep eyes open. Her first skill deals damage equal to 450% of attack power to a single enemy and applies 80% damage reduction effect for 2 turns. She was at 90, now she's at what, 170% damage reduction on an enemy. A level 3 Demon King could not hurt her. Like a Demon King ultimate could not hurt her. Well, granted, like he cleanses when he ranks up, but let's say he ranked up and then you lived somehow, and then you put this on him and he got another, like he got his ultimate after that, like post rank up, you're not taking damage. Second skill, the Untouchable. For 2 turns, take a stance to provoke the enemy, and when attacked, counter attack and deal amplified damage equal to 455% of attack. Amplification, y'all know what amplify does. However many buffs she has, she does more damage. 30% for each buff. You do the math. You do the math. Her ultimate, for 2 turns, grant yourself 50% critical chance and 130% crit damage to herself, and then deals suppression damage. Suppression is when she is in a stance, she does 50% more damage per stance buffs on her. I think in the live stream, when she did a stance, it was like 2, or it might have been 2 or 3. 2 or 3 stance buffs on her. So that's 150% damage though. I saw she did like 1.2 on one character. It could be pretty stupid. So so far she is miles ahead of Ainz, which is like kind of outrageous, because I watched Overlord and I thought he was pretty busted, and they just went full simp mode for her, like 100%. She's the new Blue Chandler, Naofumi, Tom's Blue Tarmia, all in one character, bro. It's actually crazy. She's AGL Golden Frieza. She's AGL Golden Frieza from Dokkan to LR. With like hella damage for no reason. Okay, so we got the third character, Shoutir. I think if I'm pronouncing these characters' names wrong, tell me in the comment section. Her passive, for each ally of unknown race participating in battle, it's not like the PvP. Albedo and her are not like the PvP. A little bit of what's his name, Ainz isn't, but the second portion is. So for each unknown race participating in battle, your basic stats increase by 7%. When you deal damage to an enemy, or when an ally receives damage from using a skill during the enemy's turn, you'll be given 1 HP related ability increase effect of 7%. So you increase your 7% HP related times what, 3? So 21% HP related. That's pretty nice, because that comes into effect later. And at the start of your ally's turn, if there are 3 effects, it will be canceled and give you frenzy. Okay, give you a frenzy effect for 1 turn. Also, when you deal damage with an all attack skill, a bleeding effect is applied to the enemy for 2 turns. Frenzy equals attack related goes up by 50%, and then defense related goes up by 30%. When canceled, recover 40% of maximum HP. So after that 1 turn, you use your frenzy. Well, you attack with frenzy, right? You do all this damage. You got all this defense. When it goes away, you heal. Obviously, you know, yeah, it's pretty stupid. And then our Holy Relic recovers HP of all allies by 30% of the damage you inflict on enemies affected by bleed. So what you do is use her first or her second skill, Infect. AoE Infect stops healing, applies bleed, go crazy, right? And then her first skill deals exploitation damage equal to 450% of attack on a single enemy. Exploitation increases damage dealt to targets affected by bleed effect by 2 times crit damage increased. Wait, what? Your damage goes up 2 times, right? Yeah. Okay, so she's already healing if they're bleeding, right? But if they're bleeding, she does 2 times damage, and then crit damage increases times 2 as well. So damage dealt and crit damage. This is so weird the way they're like the words, but I'm getting it. So her ultimate, Crimson Valkyrie, for 2 turns, give yourself 30% increase in all stats, which is crazy. Deals damage to all enemies equal to 600% of attack and absorbs 50% of the damage. So absorb is like she does AoE. She's healing everybody. Crazy, stupid, beautiful, sensational. She's supporting and she's doing damage. She's like, she's Beatrice on like super mega ultra steroids, essentially. So getting into the free-to-play unit, this will be the last unit I cover in the video. Calcitus, we'll go over him. When you use a skill to damage an enemy in PvE, use a PvE unit, all debuffs affected on your allies will be removed, which is pretty nice. And your allies will receive an 8% HP related effect for each debuff removed for 3 turns. So his Holy Relic, when you use a skill in PvE, give your allies 10% increase in all stats, which is pretty nice. So this guy is green as well, so he might be a good substitution for a character or 2 in your Belmos teams, but obviously I think he'll have some other applications too, like maybe even final boss and stuff like that and junk. Deals amplify. The fact that he removes debuffs is crazy, because I know like a couple of bosses can like debuff the crap out of you, and he can just remove it. All debuff effect on your allies will be removed. That's crazy in it. So, and he gives HP and all stats. Bugging. He is bugging. Deals amplified damage equal to 450% of attack on a single enemy. Amplification increases damage dealt per buff he has on himself, right? Second skill deals explosive damage, which is detonate. However much gauge they have, he does more damage. And then his ultimate, for 3 turns, increases basic stats by 50%, and you will deal damage equal to 525. So he is a pretty good free-to-play unit. Overall, I like every single character, and I will give you my order of who is the best, and I'll go from like worst to best. So at number 4, I think the worst is Ainz. Unfortunately enough, he is great. Let me say this: everybody on this list is great, but I don't think he'll be as good as people anticipate. I feel like his unknown team, you will hardly take damage and whatnot, because he's lowering like a lot of like damage received. He's doing dot damage as well, but like his damage output, I'm seeing it right now, I don't think it's gonna be the best. I think he just reduces damage and like final damage that they do to you on special moves, like all target special moves, and nobody is really even doing ultimates like that. You're not fighting fraudulents every match. Like if you fight a fraudulent, high key kill him. Like kill fraudulent if you're running irons, because then like everybody gets their ults, they're doing nothing, right? Like that's like the best situation for irons, weirdly enough. I know that's weird to say, but hey, that's it. So at number 4, it's Ainz. At number 3, it is Calcitus. I think he is a fine unit. He is going to be great for a whole lot of PvE teams. And I'll leave it at that. The fact that he's like free and he's good, he got to be above Ainz. At number 3, well, what 4? This is 3, and then at number 2, I can't count. Jesus Christ, it's Shalltear. Shalltear is great. She's helping everybody. She's healing, and she's doing great damage as well. I can't complain. I really can't complain. And number 1, Albedo. Albedo gotta be like the number 1 most craziest unit out of this whole update, bro. The fact that she has amplified stance is crazy. I know I was talking the story, you were saying the fact that this 1 turn is like kind of cringe, but we said that about Naofumi, and Naofumi was like godly. Like, so and they might have like made her balanced if they made it 1 turn for her level 1 stance, right? But you get a level 2, GG's. It's 2 turns. It's simple as that. But yeah, that's just about it. She applies damage reduction too. What applies damage? Why is it attack? It should be a debuff, right? That's weird. That is a wrong right there. But that's just about it. Albedo, Shaltir, Calcitis, and then Ainz. That got to be the list, unfortunately. But let me tell you this: all of them are crazy. All of them are good. All of them deserve the 6-6 from me. I'm getting the 6-6, and I'll see y'all at the summons in about, I don't know how many. it's freaking basically 8 a.m. 12 plus 4, 16 hours. I'll see y'all in 16 hours, or not 16. It'll be another 18 hours. In another 18 hours, I'll be summoning. I'll be there. But later today, in about maybe an hour or two from this video, you see it's right now 7:55. In about an hour, we will be going live on the Sacred Treasure podcast. So go on over to Amazing's channel, set that reminder, and I'll see y'all over there, man. Peace out.